Sponsor of the New York Mets. Boys to Men is coming to Citi Field for a concert after the Mets-Cubs game this Saturday as part of the Mets Concert Series presented by Dwayne Reed. Catch Boys to Men live in concert this Saturday. For tickets, visit Mets.com/concerts. Today's Twisted but True Fact brought to you by Twisted Tea, the hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. When shooting the jogging scene from Rocky, Sylvester Stallone pulled a tendon in his leg, and they had to take him to a hospital in a wheelbarrow. A wheelbarrow?
Really?
Really?
How did he go 15 rounds?
They couldn't afford an ambulance? A wheelbarrow? You can follow every Mets game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today. Upcoming schedule brought to you by Honda. Mets go home after the game today. They've got 3 with the Nationals starting tomorrow night, and then 4 with the Cubs wrapping around to next Monday. Then the Mets go out west for the last time for 2 in Oakland and 3 in Los Angeles. After that, they'll be in the Eastern time zone for the rest of the season. Mets and Phillies wrapping up their series. First pitch is coming right up. Set for today's matinee. David Buchanan heads to the mound for his 12th big league start.
Well, actually, we're all set for it, Gary. The folks at home are getting set in their sofas and to watch the game. We're all ready.
You've been prepared for hours.
Our scorecards are in good shape.
Geico starting lineup for the Mets today. Anthony Recker gets a start behind the plate. Travis d'Arnaud caught the first 3 games of the series. Matt Dendecker is settled in now as the regular left fielder, had 2 hits yesterday. Wilmer Flores continues his run at shortstop. as the Mets hope to take 3 of 4 in this series after yesterday's meltdown.
Well, there you see the numbers for David Buchanan. I told you he was called up in late May, sent down in early July, recalled late in July. Has one start since his recall where he beat the Astros 6 innings, gave up, I believe, 1 run in that game. I'm sorry, 3 runs. And the defense for the Phillies, of course, light. Darren Ruff with the start in left field. Ben Rivera will probably be shading a little bit in left center today. And Andres Blanco gives Chase Utley an off day. And Ruiz is back in the lineup after a day off yesterday.
For all of you sitting on tenterhooks waiting for the outcome of Jacob deGrom's MRI today, we are not going to know the results of that until probably right after the game. He had his appointment this morning in New York, so the Mets have not made plans for replacing him. They won't do that till they know the results of the MRI. It'll depend whether he's only going to miss 1 start or is going to go on the disabled list. We'll have more on that as we move along. Curtis Granderson leads off. It's been a good series for Curtis. First pitch from Buchanan at his feet for ball 1. Curtis with 3 straight multiple hit games in this series. It's the first time he's done that as a Met. 6 for 13 in the 3 games. And he fouls off the changeup, a ball and a strike. Curtis up to 232 on the year. Daniel Murphy on deck. David Wright behind him as the sun comes out, and Granderson takes up and away 2-1.
Remember that Granderson came in here in a slump, so he seems to have broken out.
Well, he had a bunt hit the last game in Washington, and that seemed to get him going. Buchanan, who's not been walking people, behind on his leadoff hitter, 3-1. And Granderson pops one up. Shallow left center. Angling in is Ruff, the left fielder. And that's the first out of the afternoon. Darren Ruff getting his first start in the series against the left-hander today. Here's Daniel Murphy. Murphy's cooled down the last couple of days. 3 for 13 in the series. Had a sacrifice fly in yesterday's game. Mets built a 6-1 lead yesterday before that got away. It ended with Henry Mejia giving up 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, and then Henry caused a stir after his stint was over by revealing that he had been battling a hernia for the last few weeks.
Well, it just looks bad, you know, after you've had, so he's gone through a patch of rough outings. Been roughed up here in Philly. He got hit pretty hard the day before. Even though he got the save, he was able to get out of it. It just doesn't look good. It looks like you're making an excuse, and so it's best to keep your mouth shut.
Murphy grounds one down to Howard for the second out. You saw that Lowe's never stop improving. Murphy's moving up on you. Can you show that again?
We
were talking about Mejia while we were showing the graphic about Murph and his rank on the Mets hit list.
Oh, okay.
He's moving up on you.
Well, how many years has Murph played here, for crying out loud? Oh, how many years did I play? I played 6.5 here.
Yes, you did.
Okay. So we'll see. You know, I won't lose any sleep over it.
So glad. Here's David Wright. David had a couple of hits in yesterday's game. A couple of first pitch hits, his first 2 at bats. And Buchanan leaves it outside for ball 1. David's now hit in 9 straight games. Looked better yesterday than he has in a while.
Well, he's gone up the middle more, Gare.
And he goes around on that half swing, 1-1.
It's more interesting to watch David's progression, what he does against the right-handers. He's wearing out left-handers.
That's a good slider by Buchanan to get ahead 1-2. Lucas Duda would be next. Mets got a first inning run yesterday, 74 for the year. But here 2 out and nobody on. And there's strike 3 called, and Buchanan has a 1-2-3 opening inning. Mets are on 1-2-3. John Neese goes to the mound when we come back to Philadelphia. Aaron Ruff gets a start against the left-hander today, a day off for Chase Utley. So Andres Blanco is at second base. Marlon Byrd moves up into the 3-hole against John Neese, who's trying to snap a personal 4-game losing streak.
And like we said, the big inning has been trouble for John, then the long ball. 6 home runs in those 4 starts. Oh, that very, very creative.
Very fanatical.
She looks lovely.
Ben Revere leads off against Neese. Mets have cooled off Revere a little bit in this series. He came in a red-hot hitter, 3 for 14 in the 3 games. He has been the best left-hand hitter against left-handed pitching in the National League this year. He's hitting .347 against left-handers. That's why you leave Revere in the lineup against John Neese today. Rollins and Byrd to follow. Slow ground ball. Murphy in. And he gets Revere 1 away. No hesitation from Murphy on the charge, and Revere retired 1 out. So now Jimmy Rollins. Rollins 3 for 14 in this series, but it might have been an at-bat he had yesterday where he did not get a hit. That might have been his most important of the series. Leading off the 6th inning, Phillies were down 6-1. He put together a 14-pitch at-bat against Zach Wheeler. He popped up, but Wheeler then gave up a couple of runs in that inning, and the Philly comeback was underway. And Rollins takes a fastball for a strike.
And he was a part of that comeback in the next inning. The 2-run innings that Black gave up the 2 runs with a 2-out rally. And the base hit up the middle, Gary, off the glove, made by up the middle, made by Flores at shortstop. A play at the throw was wide. It would have ended the inning, 1-2-3, and then there you go. The floodgates open.
It was against Revere. Rollins followed with a hit, and then Utley banged one off the wall for a 2-run triple, and that made it a 1-run game. Curveball from Neese, and he fields the comebacker and throws out Rollins, 2 out.
And since we're talking about defense in yesterday's ballgame, we'll bring the Lexus Met defense, and Den Decker right there. Really swung the bat well out in left field. And Flores, still the experiment going on. Can Wilmer Flores play shortstop? He's going to get an opportunity to show the rest of the season, getting a lion's share of the playing time. Record behind the plate.
So 2 out and nobody on. Here's Marlon Byrd, who got a day off yesterday, but then came off the bench in the 9th inning for the game-tying hit as a pinch hitter against Henry Mejia. Marlon 4 for 9 in this series. And he takes a cutter for a strike from Neese. Byrd with 22 home runs, 3rd in the National League. 7 of those 22 home runs have come against left-hand pitching. Marlon favors the sunglasses for day games.
Always.
Never understood how you can hit with sunglasses.
I don't myself, and I've never experimented with them. They were starting to come in when I was on my way out. You remember the blue blockers, of course.
I do. I remember the ad better than anything else. It was one of the best infomercials ever made.
Yeah. You think?
Keith Hernandez for blue blockers.
And they were orange in color. Why they call them blue blockers, I have no idea.
And Neese strikes out Byrd to end the inning. So a strong first inning for Neese to match Buchanan. No score after 1 in Philadelphia. Recording this series against the Phillies, you'll get 1% off each ticket to see the Mets at home August 12th through the 18th against the Nationals and Cubs. Cheer on your Mets pitchers all series long and save. Log on to Mets.com/strikeouts for more information. Lucas Duda leads off the home second, takes a curveball for a strike. With John Neese's strikeout of Marlon Byrd in the first inning, that's 23 now for Met pitchers in this series.
Oh, that's right.
So your savings are up to 23% and counting. They've got the full shift on against Duda, who's 3 for 13 in the series, hit a home run into the shrubbery beyond center field in yesterday's game.
Well, the alarm bells went off around the National League in the beginning of a little bit after the All-Star break when Lucas Dudas caught fire. They're going to pitch him much more carefully now. He is a bona fide threat, and yes.
Now he even has his own signage.
It's catching on.
21 home runs, tied for 4th in the league. Fouls off the changeup from Buchanan. Juan Lagares on deck, and then Matt Dendecker in the second. Duda with 64 runs batted in. That's just outside the top 10 in the league. So he has come a long way in a short period of time. And lays off the breaking ball low and in, 2-2, and that's been a vulnerability for Lucas.
He has a good eye. That was very much too much in the dirt. It's the pitch that is more up in the strike zone, but breaks out just between the ankles, mid-calf, that he chases.
Off-speed pitch gets him. Buchanan with his second strikeout. 1 out of the second.
So everybody comes up with a combio, changeup. All of them, they love that changeup. I'm playing in the wrong era. No split fingers anymore. Lots of changeups.
There'll be more split fingers next year. After pitchers watch Tanaka this year, they're all going to be working on their splitter. Here's Lagares taking ball 1.
I cannot tell you what a tough pitch that was for a hitter.
Lagares 2 doubles and a triple in this series, 5 for 11. And there's another changeup from Buchanan. So he's liking his changeup early in this game. Lagares over the last 13 games hitting .375. He's up to .285 for the year. David Buchanan, 25 years old, the first ever product of Georgia State University to make it to the major leagues.
Oh, got him.
Lagares gets drilled in the back.
That's number 2 this series, is it not?
It is. He got hit in the shoulder in
first game?
In the Saturday game by Cole Hamels.
Same spot too, I believe. Got him in the shoulder, upper.
This one got
oh, this is in the shoulder
right
blade.
Between the numbers.
It's fine. Hey, hurts a little bit in the beginning.
So the first base runner of the game for either side comes in painful fashion, and now here's Matt Dendecker. Dendecker played his first game since returning from the minor leagues yesterday on his birthday. Hit 3 balls hard, got a couple of hits, robbed of an extra base hit by Ben Revere.
Robbed of an extra base hit with 2 men on base. That was the line drive to dead central.
And it is, he yanks that one foul. It's really noteworthy how different Dendecker looks at the plate than the last time we saw him earlier in the year.
Well, he's holding his hands down lower at the waist, and his bat is perpendicular to the ground, much like Cepeda. That's how Bobby Bonds held his hands. They're not back very far. They're kind of mid-chest. His hands aren't very far back. So I've never made a drastic change like that. Obviously, it's worked for him. Came up here hitting with .334 in AAA, leading the league in hitting. And he's always had a fast bat. I've always liked his swing. He strikes out a lot. I never could understand.
But since going to this change, as Lagares runs and it's mishandled by Ruiz, a stolen base for Lagares, his 4th of the year. So after getting drilled, Lagares gets some revenge with a stolen base.
Got him out in front in the change.
Well, the one thing is that's for certain is since Den Decker went to this change, he's making more contact. Easy hop for Blanco, and he throws out Den Decker, 2 out.
You know, that's a good at bat right there. You know, you're going to fail 70% of the time. To me, it's about the contact and not the exit velocity.
Well, there's the change. You can see spring training this year on the right, and
well, it's dramatic, and that's pretty much how Bobby Bonds held his hands. And we're going to get it back to you folks his next at bat. We're going to show that same angle, that low third. I'd love to see slow motion his take back in his swing.
Flores with a runner at 3rd and 2 out, hoping to bunt for a hit to get that run in.
So I've never seen Den Decker play every day. He's always been in the minor leagues. You see him in spring training. He had a cup of coffee here earlier in the year. So it's hard for me to really make an assessment of him, but I'd always liked his swing. They're very alarmed at his strikeouts in the minor leagues. Strikes out too much, and I think what I've saw, and I don't like to draw when kids are coming up and they're getting their feet wet in the big leagues and they're nervous, they don't know what they belong, they're a little anxious. I don't like to make evaluations on the athlete. You got to see them over time. He's going to get his fair share of breaking balls.
Torres yanks one foul.
And we'll see how he handles the breaking ball, because he's got a very, very fast bat. That's what I like about him. If you don't have a fast bat, you're not going to hit in the big leagues. A lot of guys with slider speed bats, you know, if you can't hit a fastball, you're on the train out of town.
Rollins plays the easy hop, throws out Flores, and Buchanan gets around trouble in the 2nd inning. Still no score. Early in the game for that, but it's never too early to. Yeah.
Very cool. Nope. There's the hero of yesterday's ball game.
Ryan Howard leads off in the home 2nd inning.
Oh, my favorite. You notice how they got it wrapped so the guy in the concessions won't get all sticky? That's a tip-off right there.
Ryan Howard coming off his game-winning hit last night. We like to tantalize you with the cotton candy.
Bill Webb's very sadistic in the morning when he doesn't get his beauty rest.
Howard's hit last night in the bottom of the ninth was his third walk-off hit of the year and his second in a week. He had one against the Astros in the 15th inning last week. Also had an 8th inning grand slam to win a game against Houston last week. So all of a sudden, Howard's not only driving in runs, he's driving in big runs. 72 RBIs for the year, is third in the National League. It's not to say it's been a good year for Howard, but he has had his moments.
Well, he's having like a Kingman-esque year. Remember, old David would hit 20-something home runs, 30, and hit what 191. He hit one below 200 one year. Did he not, Gary?
He was always right around the 210s.
He was always swinging for the downs all the time. Big Dave.
Neese comes up and in to strike out Howard. That's how you get him out. Second strikeout for Neese. He's retired the first 4, and the savings just keep growing.
Upstairs, fastball, and he's blind. Always been blind there. Reminiscent of that World Series when the Phillies lost to the Yankees, and the Yankees just pounded Howard, belt tying up inside the entire series and nullified him. He wasn't a factor in that series at all.
Here's Carlos Ruiz, who had the day off yesterday. 2 for 8 in the series, including a home run. And Neese has always had trouble getting Carlos Ruiz out. Neese has pitched very well against the Phillies in his career, but Ruiz in 27 at bats hitting .370 against John. Darren Ruff, the number 6 hitter on deck. And the changeup from Neese is away, 2-1. John, his last 4 starts, 0-4, 5.76 ERA. Wednesday in Washington gave up a 2-run homer to Adam LaRoche, a 3-run homer to Danny Espinosa, and that pretty much summed up his day.
Well, we were talking about the long ball putting a hurt on John. And his season just got off to such a good start, first half, Gary.
Jams Ruiz, and he flies one out to right, and that's the second out. Well, Neese had issues in spring training, shoulder issues, elbow issues, but couldn't make the opening day start the way the Mets had planned for, but was able to pitch the 5th, 6th game of the year, and then just got on a roll. But then the shoulder started bothering him again. He spent some time on the DL, and since coming back, he's had trouble getting back in a groove. Here's Darren Ruff, who's 0 for 2. What John said was that he changed his mechanics when his shoulder was bothering him. Now his shoulder feels great, and he's gone back to his regular mechanics, but he hasn't figured out how to be sharp with that again.
Well, he's up today so far, falling behind early. John's a guy that can't pitch upstairs. Keep the ball down. See, there's another bell tie pitch here. If you're going to be up, you're going to be up in the letters or a little above the letters where the hitter will chase, not bell tie. That's where you're going to get in trouble.
And he walks Ruff on 4 pitches. And the Phillies have their first base runner of the day.
Well,
Terry's taking notes.
Terry doesn't miss a trick. He is, you know what? If he's got night watch out in the jungle, the platoon sleeps, I'll sleep soundly with him sentinel.
Like a good watchdog. Here's Andres Blanco getting the start at second base today. Blanco, a 30-year-old journeyman. with his 4th different major league team. Neese has missed with 5 in a row now, and Recker's going to go out and talk to him.
It looks like he's goosing, Garrett, and it just makes me wonder if he's got anything wrong with his shoulder, a little bit of discomfort, because he's really coming down like he's goosing and favoring that left shoulder.
When you say goosing,
I just think he's coming down lower. Like, I don't think he can extend his hand up high. I'll keep an eye on it.
So it's almost like he's pushing the ball.
Favoring, maybe. I could be wrong. It's a speculation on my part.
Blanco drives one to left, chasing Dendecker back, and he can't make the play. Racing for third is Ruff. He'll have to stop there. Blanco pulls into second on a double that beat Dendecker. 3rd double of the year for Blanco.
Well, a center fielder by trade, and the toughest ball you can play is the ball line drive hit right at you, and that ball was ripped off the top of his glove. And I don't believe that he misjudged this. This ball was ripped.
The ball just beat him.
This ball was ripped.
Mets will have to intentionally walk Ashe, I'm sure, with the pitcher next. Good recovery off the wall by Dendecker.
I don't know. You got a left-hander and a left-hander out there. Pitch to him. If you fall behind, then you might want to give him.
Ashe is 2 for 2 in his career against Neese. Throws him a curveball outside.
We'll take a look at the delivery here. No favoring there. But there's a belt high pitch that they get right there again, where he gave up the double right there, Gary. He's got to get that ball down.
One to Ashe, who's 1 for 11 in this series.
It's an RBI hit, though, that one hit he got. There you go. Good fastball. You see Recker right there giving him the glove of approval right there as he points on. Perfect pitch. He's saying, "Atta baby, that's where I wanted it." Good pitch. Nicely done. Recker's very involved. It's been tough on him. His time has been limited, playing time. I like him behind the plate.
Ashe hits the curveball slowly. Murphy hurries in, and Neese able to sidestep trouble in that 2nd inning. A double and 2 left after 2. Mets and Phillies, no score. The 2 out of 3 last week. Nats are coming to Citi Field for the next 3 days. Then the revamped Cubs come in. Javier Baez, Arizmendi Alcantara, all those young players that the Cubs are starting to bank on. They've been playing better. And they'll be in to face the Mets for 4 games starting on Friday. Then the Mets make their last West Coast trip. Rematch with the A's, whom they faced at Citi Field earlier this year.
2 division leading teams, the A's and the Dodgers. So that's a tough road trip.
So if you include the Nats, that's 3 out of the next 4 series against first place teams.
Very good.
So here's Anthony Recker trying to snap an 0 for 17 skid. His last start was Thursday in Washington, went 0 for 5 in that 13-inning game. And he takes the curveball from Buchanan for ball 1. Record down to 185 on the year. His 34th start this year. Had a lot of playing time when D'Arnaud was in the minors, but very little since he's been back. And he pops this one up. Rollins has the call. 1 away. So Recker retired, 1 down in the 3rd. And here's John Neese. He's just 1 for 33 at the plate this year, after hitting over 200 last season.
See where the Dodgers are at Atlanta today, and Kevin Correa, the new pickup from the Twins, is getting the start. Gare, former Giant.
Underneath the glove of Buchanan, Rollins there to sweep up and throws out Neese. 2 out. Well, the Dodgers opened up a 4.5 game lead behind Clayton Kershaw yesterday. 11 straight wins now for Kershaw. He's 14-2. The Giants, meanwhile, got swept by Kansas City to fall 4.5 games back.
Decisively got swept.
And in so doing, the Giants also fell out of the second wild card spot. Right now it's St. Louis and Pittsburgh in those top 2 spots, with the Giants a half game back and Atlanta 2 out. Two out and nobody on. Now Curtis Granderson, who flied out to left his first time up. Well, there's the statue honoring the great Harry Kalas.
What a voice, huh?
We lost Harry several years ago.
Harry was a long time the voice of NFL films. Really a terrific guy.
Absolutely beloved here in Philadelphia. Worked with Whitey Ashburn for years.
When I played, that was the team. Richie and Harry.
They were the best of friends, had a great on-air rapport. Kind of like you and me.
Correct. Absolutely.
Here's the 1-2 to Granderson. Up and in, 2-2.
Are we 3 in the booth in the Washington series?
We are.
And Fister's got that first game against the Mets.
Against somebody tomorrow night.
Yes, we'll find out. To be announced.
Well, here's how it's going to work. If DeGrom only has to miss 1 start, it'll be either Carlos Torres or Buddy Carlisle, somebody out of the Mets bullpen. If he has to miss more than 1 start, it'll be Rafael Montero. There's your city probables for the series. And Granderson strikes out on the fastball. 1-2-3 inning for Buchanan, his 3rd strikeout. No score in Philadelphia. classification. Dodgers now 4.5 up on the Giants.
Well, I just think the Giants are going to have a hard time catching the Dodgers.
There's the wild card with the Giants now half game back of the Pirates for that second spot. Mets are 6.5 back in the wild card right now.
When you got a starting rotation as the Dodgers have, where you run Kershaw, Greinke, and Ryu, and the fact that Kershaw just owns the Giants.
It's already shut him out, what, 3 times this year?
Yes, it's complete dominance. It's going to be a tough road to hoe.
David Buchanan 1 for 19 in the major leagues. And he's quickly ahead of him 0-2. Buchanan, then Ben Revere and Jimmy Rollins for the Phillies in the third. Mets are playing their final game in Philadelphia this year. They've won 7 of 9 here this year, despite yesterday's horrific loss. And over the last 3 seasons, the Mets are 20-7 in this ballpark, which is almost incomprehensible if you remember how it was several years before that. 2-2 now to Buchanan. Of course, the Phillies' fortunes have changed over that time. They won 5 straight division titles through 2011, then a .500 season, and now what looks like it's going to be their second straight losing season. Off the leg of Nice, deflects right to right, and he makes the bare hand play to throw him out. Now it's John Niso kick. Ray Ramirez, the trainer, coming up the dugout steps to have a look.
Oh, it's his back leg. It was an intention of him to skate save it.
A redirect?
Let me tell you, an assist.
Watch from behind.
Watch his left leg, or his right leg. Oh, no, he's trying to get out of the way. That got him on the upper, close to the knee.
Did it get him out on the outside of the knee? That's what I would be concerned about.
He's all right.
So it's a 1-5-3 put out on Buchanan. Nice play by Wright to sweep up after that deflection.
Just like they wrote it up in the chalkboard, Garrett. Back of the calf, huh? High upper calf, where all the meat is.
His right leg, his landing leg, so we'll see how that impacts him going forward. 1 out for Ben Revere, grounded out to Murphy his first time up. There's been only 1 hit in this game, the Andres Blanco double, and he cracked to deep left field in the second. Revere having his best season, 7th in the National League in batting, hitting at .308. It's been amazing that in concert, the 2 former Twins center fielders who've come to the National League East, Span and Revere, have both been so incredibly hot at the same time after struggling a bit in their first year in the National League. Span's on base streak, I think, is up to 35 games now. We'll see him tomorrow night. Somebody pointed out, I'm not sure which writer pointed it out first. Remember when Bryce Harper came back from the thumb injury and he was very heavily criticized because he was talking about who should play and where they should play?
Yes.
Acting like a manager. Broken back grounder. Duda hesitated, now makes the diving stop, and Nice gets there too late. Well, that was messed up from the start because Duda first froze, then dove, and Nice didn't get over in time.
Some indecision on his part whether to go to first. Now he's got to realize, see Murph coming behind. Murph playing with a pull there. Let Murph have it. And John's got to get there.
You see his reaction. He knows that he should have gotten there sooner.
Murph would have been able to get in front of it.
What I wonder is, did Duda's freezing cause Nice to freeze? We'll have to go watch and see Nice's reaction. So it's an infield hit for Revere. Let's watch Nice.
There's no hesitation. He kind of follows through to the third base side, but he's still got to get there.
It's always harder for a lefty. So 1 out and 1 on for Rollins, who had a comebacker his first time up. Anyway, when Harper did his little managerial thing when he came back off the DL, the guy he said should sit down was Denard Span.
Yes.
He said that Harper should play center and they should leave Zimmerman in the outfield.
And I'm sure that didn't endear him with his teammates.
I don't think he's done many things to endear himself to his teammates lately, but I think it's fascinating the fact that since then Span has taken off the way he has. Maybe he took it personally. Or maybe it's all coincidence.
A little goading, but that's not the player's job to do that.
Not especially when you're 21 years old. 3-1 now to Rollins. But you know, young players say dumb things sometimes. Remember when Gary Sheffield was first starting out and he chastised his pitchers for not protecting him when he was 19, 20 years old?
It's always the golden boys that are called up that
well, you learn over time.
Yep.
It's a good cutter from Nice, 3-2. See the latest with Harper in Atlanta over the weekend when he scuffed the A in the dirt behind home plate. Swing and a miss, throw down to second, and Revere is safe. So Rollins strikes out, but Revere steals the base, his 32nd of the year. And I think the record was asking the home plate umpire whether that might be interference on Rollins. I think it was.
good jump. And we'll see about the interference right here. Nope, he got down. No way. Umpire called it safe too. You saw that. He was right on it. It's Mark Wegner.
Mark Wegner, the acting crew chief. Mike Winters, remember, got hit on the forearm in the opening game of the series when he had the plate the last two games, but he's not out there today. We don't know whether it's because of that injury or something else. Bird lifts one to shallow left. Dendecker started back, now coming on, and he gets there to retire the side. So an infield hit and a man left on. We remain scoreless through 3 in Philly. (1876) to be exact. See the boathouses in the upper left?
Yes, I do.
It's beautiful.
That's where all the crew is for the, I think, the University of Pennsylvania.
And yeah, all the other boat clubs right on the Schuylkill River. See in the upper left there.
I used to run in that park way back in the early 80s.
Daniel Murphy leads off the 4th inning. Murphy grounded out to first base his first time up. Murphy right and Duda trying to get to David Buchanan here in the 4th. Mets faced Buchanan in late May in that 5-game series here in Philly. It was just his second big league start, and he did pretty well. He pitched into the 7th inning. Lost the game 4-1 to Zach Wheeler. Gave up a 2-run homer to Chris Young. That hurt him. Murphy smokes one down the right field line. That's an extra base hit. The Mets have their first hit of the afternoon. A Murphy leadoff double in the 4th. 33rd double of the year for Daniel Murphy.
Change up or played like a fastball. Wanted it in right down the pipe, and with Daniel Murphy up, you do that, you're usually going to pay.
So a chance for the Mets to strike first. David Wright was caught looking his first time up. One of 3 strikeouts for Buchanan over the first 3 innings.
David down to 271 on the year with 55 RBIs.
Ball, a strike to right. Well, in a situation where David's probably trying to go to right field to at least advance the runner, the Phillies not playing him that way.
No, and they've got Blanco, the second baseman, as you see, holding the runner on, but he pushes off.
And David has to vacate on the up and in fastball.
Fastball in, runs in.
David's back over 300 with runners in scoring position, hitting 304 this year. Trying to pick up Murphy from second base.
There's 44 more games left in the season.
44 including today. A little over a quarter of the season left.
He's going to have to hustle to get 80 RBIs.
Right up the middle. That's a base hit for David Wright. Murphy around third. He's being waved home. He'll score without a throw. David Wright, RBI number 56, as he drives in Murphy with the game's first run.
Well, David has been going up the middle in this series. Pitch right down the pipe, belt high. That should be pummeled, that pitch. Nicely done, David.
Well, it's kind of crazy because he's been struggling so much, but David right now has a 10-game hitting streak. Now 6 for 15 in this series, gets Murphy home. 1-0 New York, and now Lucas Duda, who struck out his first time up, and he takes the changeup off the plate.
So you see Buchanan, who was really so spot on his first 3 innings, is starting to make some mistakes. The leadoff double to Murph was a mistake. Mistake to David Wright on the base hit to drive in a run.
That's the call on the cutter, 1-1. Well, Buchanan's been pitching awfully well. He got a win against Houston his last time out. In fact, his last 7 starts, 5-2, 3.43, very respectable. But here's the thing. He has more wins in that span since June 14th than any Philly pitcher, and he spent 3.5 weeks in the minor leagues. So just tell you how difficult it's been for the Phillies to patch together a rotation.
Well, look at Cole Hamels.
Getting a lot of changeups to do to 2-2. Well, Hamels just hasn't gotten any run support.
No run support.
And then, you take Cliff Lee out of the rotation, and they've been trying to figure out who goes in those other spots. In fact, they just claimed Jerome Williams on waivers from Texas. He'll start for them tomorrow in Anaheim. Breaking ball gets him. So Duda is struck out for the second time. That's the first out of the inning.
Fourth strikeout for Buchanan. And there's the breaking ball that Duda fishes after, or has a tendency to fish.
I mean, Jerome Williams was released by Houston, waived by Texas. I mean, two bad teams, but the Phillies figure, what the heck, we'll take a shot at him, and they've claimed him and going to stick him right in the rotation. 1 out and 1 on. Here's Lagares, who was hit in the back by a pitch his first time up, and he fouls it away. Let's see what Lagares has done against the Phillies this year. 5 for 11 in this series with 3 extra base hits and 3 RBIs. Barely missed a home run in yesterday's game, driving one off the fence and right for a triple. So the Mets almost had a third home run yesterday. They had 2 of them, Duda and d'Arnaud. It was only the second time in the last 25 games that the Mets had more than 1 home run. The Mets had a flurry right before the All-Star break when they were hitting a lot of home runs, but even with that, they're still third from the bottom in the National League in home runs. 87 home runs in 118 games.
Well, I just think with the vastness of Citi Field, they're never going to be on the top there. A good breaking ball there to strike out Lagares.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Buchanan, 2 out of the inning. Check out SNY.TV for an inside look at Jets and Giants camp with up-to-the-minute news, interviews, and player profiles, plus a complete breakdown of all the latest developments straight from camp on the JetsBlog.com and BigBlueBlitz.com, all part of the SNY.TV blog network. Now Dendecker, who grounded out to second base his first trip. Mets have a run home here in the 4th, right at first and 2 out. And the changeup misses to Dendecker. Buchanan for the season has thrown his changeup 20% of the time. It seems like more than that today. He's really thrown a ton, especially against the lefties. Dendecker hits it sharply. Great play by Blanco, and he throws him out. That Dendecker got robbed yesterday by Revere. Here Blanco filling in for Chase Utley, reaching behind him to make a terrific stop. And that gets Buchanan through the 4th. Mets get a run and lead it 1-0. It's good.
Well, the hands are down. Look at the very little take back. And I think that's the reason why they lowered his hands. So you can see right there. I like the fact that he doesn't toe tap. I do not like toe tapping.
Ryan Howard hits one right into the shift. Daniel Murphy there to throw him out. One pitch and one retired for John Neese in the home fourth.
So, you know, as opposed to having your hands up. Now, granted, Carl Yastrzemski did it. Julio Franco did it. They're unique. When you hold your hands up high, they've got to come down and back. So there's a lot more extra motion. Now, you see his hands up high right there on the right of your screen. To bring them back to where his hands are on your left, if he brings them back, he's got to come down and back. Whereas when they're here at around his mid-chest, upper stomach, all he's got to do is take them back towards the catcher. Less movement, and then you can get the bat shorter distance of the bat to get to square it up. So I like it.
Carlos Ruiz fly to right his first time up. I guess my question would be, he not only has his hands further down, but further forward. So
yes,
he has to get them back, but it looks like he has very little take back, even though he has to get the hands back.
And you have to have a take back. You can't just, you never see a hitter hitting like this. You've got, it's like a puncher never throws like that. A puncher boxer has to come back a little bit. Same thing with hitting. You got to have that action to come back. So if you're up here, then you got to come down. That's what I was trying to vocally tell you folks. If you're here and it's a straight take back, less movement to get the ball, square that bat up. So I like the adjustment. It's working so far, and he's going to play. He has hit the dog out of the ball here in this series so far in the first two games. He should have 2 more hits. I've always liked his swing. What I like is his bat speed. He's got good bat speed.
Carlos Ruiz walks on a 3-2 pitch. Second walk given up by Neese. So 1 out and 1 on. Now Darren Ruff, who walked on 4 pitches his first time up. Ruff last year came up, got 251 at bats, hit 14 home runs in basically half a year. It was very encouraging for the Phillies. But this year he's gotten very little chance to play, and when he has not produced. Just 4 for 31 in a Phillies uniform this season.
Well, he hit a lot of home runs in the minors.
He's 28 years old now. He's basically at the point in his career where Lucas Duda is, where Duda's taken the big step forward this year, but Ruff has not. He cuts one inside, 2-0. John's really been fighting himself this stretch since the All-Star break. You can see it in his face. You can see it in the innings that he's allowed to get away from him.
He's always been that way.
Ruff hits one deep to center field. Lagares back to the track at the wall. It's out of here. Darren Ruff with his second home run of the year, a 2-run shot, and the Phillies go in front 2-1. So the long ball, which has been a nemesis for Neese recently, bites him again.
This was a no doubt fast speed, that belt high fastball, and you saw John's reaction. He knew it. He can't pitch in the belt area. You cannot. Mid thigh and a little above the belt is danger.
Andres Blanco hits a 2-hopper to right, and David throws him out, 2 away.
Well, that was a bomb right there. That was way out.
It was over the first line of shrubs. Almost hit the big hedge.
Over by the gravelly road, or grassy knoll, whatever you want to call it.
I do believe in this case Ruff was the only shooter.
That's my line.
Well, there's no denying the fact that John Neese's fastball velocity is down this year. It's down about 1.5 miles from last season. But early in the season, despite that lack of velocity, he was enjoying success.
He was winning, and he was keeping the ball down. There you see the numbers, the regression.
I guess in a lot of cases, and I don't know if it's true with John, but when your velocity goes down a little bit, you can still be successful, but it shaves your margin for error.
Correct. There's a fine line to how much you can pull back to have more control.
On the outside corner, Ashe's caught looking. Neese has his 4th strikeout to end the inning, but not before Darren Ruff gives the Phillies the lead. His 2nd home run puts the Phillies up 2-1. Success reached its apex as they won just their 2nd World Series title, beating the Tampa Bay Rays. And you can see all the elation. I love this shot, by the way. Carlos Ruiz coming out.
Who directed that?
I believe that was the Emmy-studded director, Bill Webb.
Our guy in the truck?
Our guy. He did that. Wilmer Flores grounded to short his first time up, and he cracks one down the left field line. That goes just foul. Barely missed the chalk. Flores that close to a double.
Yep, around 6 inches.
Tom Woodring, the rookie 3rd base umpire, right there to make the call.
Flores has been swinging the bat with authority, and that's what I like. Not feeling for the ball. It's nice for him to know, as well as Dendecker, that they can come to the park every day and they're going to be in the lineup.
0-2 from Buchanan, and he hits a comebacker over the mound. Tough play for Rollins with the bare hand, and he makes it beautifully to get Flores.
Well, former Gold Glover, Mr. Rollins, shows a little Wilson Pickett. I forget the label Wilson slung on, but that's Wilson.
Well, you mentioned the Gold Glove, that's Rawlings, and now you mentioned Wilson. Maybe you should throw in Mizuno. 1 out and nobody on now. Anthony Recker, who popped up his first time up. I mean, Rollins and Rawlings, that's pretty close.
Yes,
right?
It is.
Recker grounds one down to Ashe. And quickly there are 2 out. Well, the Phillies had those 5 straight division titles. That streak was snapped 2 years ago when they finished 500. Last year just 73 wins, and they're on a similar kind of pace this year. But once they got a hold in the division in 2007, when they came from behind to knock out the Mets, they held it, and they held it very tightly.
That was an ugly year, was it not?
Well, it was a great year with an ugly finish.
Yes.
And I think you can say the same thing of 2008. One and one, Denise. Some would say that you could say the same of 2006.
I would, yes. That was their year. Remember I told you?
You did. You said it. I didn't believe you at the time. He's bounced the curveball foul.
Yadier Molina.
Now, he was the last. To me, what turned that series was the Sotaguchi home run in Game 2 off Billy Wagner, because that was completely out of the blue. Hit hard, and Nice has just his second hit of the season. Well, there's the John Nice swing that we saw so much of last year.
That was a very, very good Met ball club. I thought it was the best team in the National League. It would have been a great representative of the National League in the World Series. It just didn't happen. You had Reyes at short, right? Obviously David Wright at third, Delgado at first.
Loduca behind the plate. Valentin at second. Beltran
in center, yeah.
Cliff Floyd. Right field was a bit of a rotation. Sean Green wound up there late in the year.
If there was any weakness on that team, it might have been the depth of their bullpen.
Well, and also they lost Pedro Martinez, and then right before the postseason they lost El Duque.
Right.
And so their starting pitching was much thinner, and then they lost Traxel during that series against the Cardinals. So they were really down 3 starters by the time they got to the finish, which is why they ended up with Oliver Perez starting 2 key games, including Game 7. And he started Game 7 on 3 days rest. He wasn't even a factor going into that series. 2-2 to Granderson, and the throw to first, and Nice able to get back. He was a little surprised.
Andy Chavez was part of that team. Aaron Heilman in the bullpen. I'm trying to remember the bullpen. Wagner, of course.
2-2 coming. Slap to the left side. Ashe's alone there, and throws out Granderson by a stride to end the inning. So 3 ground ball outs around the Nice base hit. Buchanan pitching with the lead for the first time, keeps it halfway through. It's 2-1. Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll enjoy the action and fun of 2 amazing theme parks, plus stay on site at the new Universal Cabana Bay Beach Resort. Just go to sny.tv/Toyota and enter the Toyota Fan Flyaway Sweepstakes for your chance to win. Your Jeep 5th inning recap. Mets took the lead in the top of the 4th on David Wright's RBI single. Phillies came right back in the bottom of the 4th on Darren Ruff's 2-run homer, just his 2nd of the year. So 2-1 Phillies as we go to the bottom of the 5th. And the pitcher Buchanan will lead off. Buchanan banked one off Neese's right leg and was thrown out by David Wright in the 3rd. Neese was able to shake it off. And John, after getting drilled by Buchanan's grounder, almost drilled Buchanan with a pitch. This is the 4th time Neese is facing the Phillies this year. He's always pitched well against Philly. This year 1-0, 2.57 in his 3 starts.
Well, that's the scoreboard operator right there, and it's all computerized.
Just an aspiring Bill Webb.
That's right. How many cameras do we have here, Bill? How many are you operating today? 8 cameras at home. We're 15, you say, right? See, we try to bring the very best to you folks back in New York. The very best director and one of the very outstanding producers.
Do you want to give his name?
Mr. Pickard, Mr. Greg Pickard. We stole him from ESPN, got him away from tennis.
And Buchanan draws the walk. So Neese walks the pitcher leading off the inning. That's something you never want to do. 3rd walk of the day for John. Is there anybody else you'd like to laud while you're handing out kudos?
Yeah, it's a day game. I'm always more relaxed in day games, aren't you?
You want to talk about Dan Barr and John DeMarsico?
Well, we got Elvis, and that's John DeMarsico with the funky hairdo. John always got the buzz cut on the side with the long locks. And
girls like that.
He's very tenacious.
Ben Revere is 1 for 2. Had an infield hit his last time up. And he takes a strike.
And of course, Dan Barr's been with us for how long? The whole time. That's right. He's
9 years. I think I saw him smile once.
When Webby does his weekend Johns for the game of the week, Dan Barr takes over the director's chair. All good guys. We've been together quite a while. Well, come on, we can talk about it during between pitches. There's kind of nothing going on.
Hit sharply, chance for 2 against the speedy Revere. The Mets turn it over. 4-6-3, 2 out and nobody on. You know, if you're going to double up a guy like Revere, you have to have a ball just like this.
Well, Daniel with the bit feed, tailor-made bullet. Pitcher's best friend.
5th double play Revere's grounded into this year. You know, Curtis Granderson still has not grounded into a double play. The only guy in the National League.
Really?
Yeah. You know, we've had significant numbers of at-bats. 2 out and nobody on. Here's Rollins, who's hit a comebacker and struck out. And thinking about a bunt, but not exactly a buntable pitch. I think it's great that you're paying tribute to your coworkers today.
Hey, we'd be nothing without them. Think about it. Webby can cut our mics. He always threatens to.
He never threatens me.
I'm sure there's some fans out there would like that.
I'm sure there would. 3-0 to Rollins. Did you mention the cameramen and the audio guys? And
they're all great.
Tape operators.
We say that for
stage managers.
We say always that for the kudos for the camera crew in the last game of the season.
I'm just saying that, you know, there are many dozens of people who make these broadcasts work.
Absolutely.
And we need every single one of them.
Yes, we do.
Pete Buchanan with the grab.
I mean, the cameramen are out there in the cold weather in April, and hot weather in August,
rainy weather.
That's right. They're the ones out there in the elements. They get beat up.
Pole just foul. We always have a roof over our heads.
We do, and the guys in the truck, before I mentioned, they're always undercover. But the cameramen, they're out there in the elements. Except for Al. Al's undercover.
Well, he's special. Check swing right back to Nice. And he takes care of Rollins to end the inning. So a leadoff walk, but the Mets turn 2, get Nice through the 5th. On to the 6th we go with the Mets down 2-1. The only 4 pitchers to appear in over 1,100 games as a reliever. Well, at least one of them pitched for the Mets. Lefty, who you know pretty well.
Yes. Long career.
Daniel Murphy doubled and scored the only Met run. Mets scored first in this game. The Mets have played 10 games in Philly this year. This is their last game here this year. The Mets have scored first in all 10, including today. But they're down 2-1 after Darren Ruff's home run put the Phillies in front. Murphy right and due to in the 6th. And Buchanan misses high. Your Coors Light Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Daniel Murphy with his 33rd double of the year today. And that will lead to the Cold Hard Fact upcoming as he takes the curveball out of the strike zone. Murph now 3rd in the National League in doubles, taking a shot at the Mets club record of 44 doubles. That's been held forever by Bernard Gilkey. It's a fairly low number. It would appear to be low-hanging fruit for somebody to break. David Wright's come close a few times, but nobody yet has gotten to 45 as a Met. Gilkey did that in 1996.
It was quite a year by Bernard that year.
More than 117 runs. 3-2 hit right at the second baseman Blanco, and he throws out Murphy one away. 96 was a strange year in that the Mets had some unbelievable individual performances. Lance Johnson that year had 227 hits and 21 triples. Todd Hundley set the club record for home runs with 41. But the Mets were not a good team that year, even though they had 3 guys who had fantastic individual seasons. Here's David Wright, who drove in the only Met run with a base hit up the middle in the 4th. David's now hit in 10 straight games. And he bounces one down to Ashe. And quickly Buchanan has 2 outs. His last 6 outs have all come on ground balls. Let's check in with the studio. Jonas Schwartz has a game break brought to you by your local Tri-Honda dealers. Tigers blew a 9th inning lead yesterday for the 2nd straight day, and they saw their lead in the division shrink to a half game over surging Kansas City. Here's Duda, who struck out twice, and he bounced one weakly down to Howard. Easiest of innings for David Buchanan. He threw just 8 pitches and got 3 ground ball outs. 2-1 Phillies. History, August 11th, 1961. Warren Spahn won his 300th game. 363 for his career. Well, this is also the 20th anniversary of one of the darkest days in recent baseball history. It was the last day before the strike of 1994 that ended the season and canceled the World Series. In fact, the Mets were in Philadelphia in Veterans Stadium the last day before the strike, and they played 15 innings. It was almost as though they knew the season was going to end and they couldn't bear to finish.
It took a long time to bring the fans back to baseball after that strike of the season. It was a strike of the World Series. There was no World Series.
And there was almost no season in 1995. They were going to play with replacement players, if you'll remember, before they finally settled it on the eve of what would have been an absolute disaster. Can you imagine if they'd actually started the season with replacement players in 95?
Yep.
And they were a day away from doing that. Marlon Byrd leads off in the home 6th inning and takes a strike.
Everything kind of came back with the excitement of the Sosa and McGuire home run chase. It got me back to watching baseball, and
it was all a fraud.
It was artificial.
Fly ball to center field. Lagares waits for it to come down, and Byrd is retired, one away. Now Ryan Howard is 0 for 2. Howard has struck out and grounded out.
Such a beautiful view here from the booth, folks, up above home plate. looking out over center field and downtown Philadelphia. Really a wonderful setting. As opposed to all those years at the Vet when you were in like the Coliseum. No atmosphere. Very nice. I like these open air ballparks. That's what I loved about Shea.
Curveball from Nice. In for a strike. And the cutter away to Howard, 1-1. Carlos Ruiz waits on deck. Each team with only 3 hits. Phillies, though, have the biggest hit. Darren Ruff's 2-run homer.
And that was a no-doubter. That was way over the center field fence. Almost hit the back wall where the ivy grows up.
Nice has always handled Howard pretty well. Howard just 4 for 26 against John. Who today is making his 19th career start against the Phillies, more than he's had against any team. Oh, and Howard's helmet comes flying off as he's hit by that cutter, and he appears to be okay. And says, don't worry. Ryan Sandberg's going to come out to see how he is. Where exactly did it get him?
Oh, shoulder.
Shoulder.
He's lucky.
It nicked his helmet after hitting the shoulder, but the shoulder took most of the blow.
Initially, I thought with the sound that he got hit in the head, Garrett.
Yeah. Well, his reaction, though, was not of a guy that got hit in the head. He appears to be okay, and thank goodness. So Nice hits his 7th batter of the year, and the Phillies have a 1-out base runner for Carlos Ruiz. Ruiz has flied out and drawn a walk, scored a run, and takes a cutter for a strike. Two big gentlemen next to each other. Howard and Duda.
Yes.
I mean, it's a size-alike contest right there.
Two burly guys.
Just inside to Ruiz, 1-2. Another big guy, Darren Ruff, waiting on deck. 1-2. Got him looking. Strikeout number 5 for John Nice.
Borderline knees, too close to take. Strike.
So 2 out. Howard still at first, and now Darren Ruff, who's responsible for putting the Phillies in the lead. A long 2-run homer to center field, his 2nd home run of the year. And he takes on the inside corner a strike.
Well, here's the bomb. Belt high fastball out over the plate. No doubt.
Well, we mentioned he had 14 of them last year in 251 at bats. He's got terrific power. Takes the curveball low and in. 2-1. Ruff has battled injuries this year. He had an oblique muscle that he hurt in spring training, kept him out for the first month and a half. Cut up his knee pretty badly in June, missed another month. And he's behind 3-1. Andres Blanco would be next. Howard at first and 2 out, and the 3-1 curveball is bounced foul. So John paying a good deal of respect to Ruff after getting taken deep. Trying to snap a personal 4-game losing streak. First time in his career he's lost 4 straight starts. And he strikes out Ruff to end the inning. So back-to-back strikeouts for Nice to finish the 6th. On to the 7th we go. Mets down 2-1. Pitchers who've been in 1,100 games as a reliever in their career. Jesse Orosco on that list. So is John Franco. 3 guys who pitched for the Mets. Mike Stanton as well, along with Mariano Rivera. Juan Lagares leads off in the 7th inning. And he takes a strike from David Buchanan, who's done a great job of keeping the ball on the ground. The Mets have only had 1 outfield putout in this game. It was the first batter Buchanan faced, Granderson, who flied out. Buchanan's had 11 ground ball outs, including the last 7 outs he's recorded. Looking for his 7th win of the year. Lagares thinks about the bunt. 2-1. Lagares hit in the back by a pitch in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. 0-for-1. Justin DeFreitas beginning to loosen in the Phillies bullpen. The Mets bullpen will get started as well. Nice is due up 4th in this inning. John is at 97 pitches through 6 innings. He's done well except for the 1 blow off the bat of Ruff. Carlisle gets up.
He's had not great command, but he's battled. He's battled in this start. The 1 mistake, as you said, Gareth.
Well, he certainly has pitched well enough to win today, but needs some help. Den Decker on deck. Flores behind him. I think I said Nice was up 4th in the inning. He's up 5th. That's why Carlisle is on call. And a full count to Lagares. Buchanan has not walked anybody. His last 3 starts, he's walked 1 or none in all 3. And none again today. 3-2. And now 1. Well, Lagares, who drew a walk yesterday, draws another one. That's only 14 walks for the season for Juan. But a little more patient. Mets have the leadoff man on in the 7th. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank. By Pepsi. For more of MLB's most thrilling moments, check out MLB.com/Pepsi. And by Mazda, conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. Now Matt Dendecker 0 for 2, hit the ball very hard his last time up, and Andres Blanco made a terrific play to throw him out.
Double play depth on the middle infielders, of course, opens up a big hole between the first base and Blanco at second. Set up a first and third. This is all part of situational hitting. You know, I don't like to put that kind of pressure on a young player who's up here. You just want him to hit. And when you get to become a veteran, you know how to look for a pitch that it's easy to pull. And all it takes is a simple little ground ball, and you're first and third, and your team's in business. And the easiest ball to pull, Gary, ironically, is the outside pitch. The pitch away. You just roll your top hand over and just guide that ball right through the hole. And it's a time of game right now where you want to do this late in the game in a tight ball game.
Now that's fascinating to me because, you know, we talk all the time about not being able to guide the ball to a certain place. I mean, what's the difference between getting a ball that you can hit through the hole and getting a ball that goes right to the second baseman?
I would love to demonstrate it, and it's just a simple rolling your top hand over, and I'll demonstrate, and I'll have to use just this.
Dendecker cracks one into the gap in right center. That's going to go all the way back to the wall. Lagares racing for third. He's being waved home. Lagares streaking for the plate. He'll score without a throw, and the game is tied. Matt Dendecker with an RBI double to get the Mets even. It's 2-2.
Well. Nothing but rockets off the bat of Dendecker. Slider down and in. Didn't break much. Out over the plate. Short swing. Line drives. And with Lagares, forget about it. I don't know what he was waiting on. It was clear that was a base hit all the way, but with his speed, he can make up for that little bit of indecision. And that's just a beautiful swing. And with that swing, Gare, he's going to hit some home runs.
Ryan Sandberg is on his way out to the mound. Wilmer Flores is coming up with the go-ahead run at second. Justin DeFreitas was warming up in the pen, and he is coming in the game. So Buchanan, who pitched so well for 6 innings, gives up a leadoff walk, and that costs him. Dendecker gets the tying run in, and now Buchanan is done after 6 innings plus. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Buchanan out, DeFreitas in, 2-2 in the 7th. We'll be right back to Philadelphia. series. He's gotten some key outs for the Phillies already in this series. He comes in with a go-ahead run at second and nobody out. Wilmer Flores goes the other way, and that'll get the runner over. Dendecker had to hold up to make sure it went through. He'll go to third and stop there. Terrific at bat for Flores, and the Mets have first and third and nobody out.
That's situational hitting. Sinker down and in. All of his intent was going the other way. Because it's down, it's easier to inside out. It's hard for me to explain that to you folks, but it's easier to place that ball out there. Dendecker does the right thing here. It's a line drive to the make sure it goes through. There's nobody out. You don't want to get doubled off. Mets are in business.
So Recker with a chance to get the lead run home. First and third and nobody out. The Phillies will concede the lead run on a ground ball to a middle infielder, with Blanco and Rollins playing back looking for two.
Well, there's DeFreitas' numbers since his recall from Lehigh Valley. He's had 34 and a third innings pitched with an ERA of 1.83. So he's made the most of it.
Base hit by Flores, the first base runner against DeFreitas in this series. He got an inning and 2/3 perfectly. Came into a big spot Saturday night after the Mets had scored a run in the 11th. Came in with the bases loaded and got two big outs. And he's got some big ones to get here. Dendecker the go-ahead run at third. Flores at first and nobody out. Record just 3 for 8 getting a runner home from third with less than 2 out. And that misses 3-0. Meanwhile, Kirk Neuenhuis is out on deck. He'll bat for Nice. So John has a chance to be a winning pitcher today if the Mets can get a run in here. There you see the line on Buchanan. He's still responsible for Dendecker at third. He could take a loss.
Yes, he could.
3-0 to Recker with Neuenhuis on deck. And he gets one in for a strike. A 3-0 breaking ball.
3-0 breaking ball.
How about that?
I hear you. Well, this is where you evaluate your relievers when they come in. There's Buddy Carlisle up for the Mets. They're going to pinch hit with Neuenhuis in the on-deck circle for Nice. And Jonathan right here can get a W if the Mets can get a big blow here.
3-1 to Recker. And he pops one foul back and out of play. Recker trying to snap a long 0 for 2 today. 0 for his last 19. Doesn't even need a hit here to be productive. Just needs to get that run in.
As I was saying, this is where you evaluate your relief pitchers, not starting an inning, coming in with men on base, how they perform in tight ball games with men on base.
Freitas has gone from 3-0 to 3-2 to Recker. And Recker just stays alive.
He just barely got a piece of that one to stay in the at-bat.
A leadoff walk to Lagares, a run-scoring double off the bat of Dendecker. Dendecker now 3 for 8 in this series, and 2 of his outs have been on extraordinary defensive plays. So he has just had a great couple of games since being called up. Again, the 3-2 coming to Recker. And he bounces one foul.
Boy, get me over slider right there. He's lucky he didn't lose that one. Recker didn't lose it. This is just a, oh my goodness, on a tee.
Well, when you're in a slump, and Recker is in a slump, you don't get those. Recker hasn't had a hit in a dog's age. He just plays once a week. And the hits have been very hard for Anthony to come by.
Well, that's the job it's going to be for this ball club. Darno is going to be doing the great bulk of the catching.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat from DeFreitas to Recker. And Anthony hits one to deep left field. That goes Roth looking up, and it's out of here! Anthony Recker breaks that slump with a 3-run homer, and the Mets go in front 2. Slump broken with emphasis. 4th home run of the year for Recker. A 4-run inning for New York and a 5-2 lead.
And there's one very happy camper out there in that blue uniform, and that's John Neese, who's now not only he's going to stay in the ball game and hit another hanging slider, get me over slider. You don't do that in the big leagues.
So Neese stays into bat, grounds one for Blanco. That's the first out of the inning.
Well, the reaction from DeFreitas, you threw it and you hung it, and you know it's sayonara Charlie.
Well, he got away with the previous one that Recker fouled off, but that one was right in the middle of the plate. So 3 runs charged to Buchanan. He's now on the hook in this game. The last 2 charged to DeFreitas, and the Mets putting together a big inning.
And Matt Dendecker in the middle of it, the key hit in this inning. Well, actually, there are 2 key hits. Obviously, Recker's 3-run home run, but that double in the gap.
Recker's last hit came July 13th against Miami, so more than 4 weeks without a hit for Anthony Recker. And he breaks that 0 for 19 with a 3-run bomb.
Beautiful. I'm not going to jump the gun here, but maybe it's our first little offensive component, or not, the Mets' first offensive component that's been called up to kind of help the offense. And
Revere over to get Granderson's fly ball for the second out.
It's only been 2 games with Dendecker. He's hit the ball hard almost every at bat. He's been robbed twice. And I just like his swing. You keep doing that, young man, and you're going to have lots of success. That swing has got base hits in it.
Well, he was raging hot in Las Vegas. He was hitting over 400 for the last month, and he has taken that hot streak to the big leagues with him. A couple of hits yesterday and a big double in this inning. Here's Murphy with 2 out. And he lines one into left center, and that is down for a base hit. Another multiple hit game for Daniel Murphy. A 2-out single.
Well, they are just teeing off on DeFreitas. He's throwing a weak sinker and a weak slider. He's throwing that change up. He's getting tattooed.
Well, it looked good in the first 2 games of this series, but not today. 5 batters faced, 3 hits, including a long home run. Now David Wright. By the way, for Murphy, that's his 43rd multiple hit game of the year. Second in the National League. 147 hits now to lead the league.
Steal a base. Get a jump, steal a base. If you feel frisky, it's a day game, I understand.
Wright drove in the first Met run with a base hit up the middle in the 4th. 1 for 3 on the day. Wright, the 8th man up in the inning. Slider well off the plate, 1-1. So Buchanan's final line: 6 innings plus, 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Two and 1 to David.
Well, no matter what the numbers are, this Philly bullpen is problematic. It's a bullpen to, I feel, to kind of beat up on.
Well, I like Giles.
I like Giles too, and I like some of the left-handers out there. I like also Hollins.
Yeah. There's Diekman up in the pen now.
But they also got some guys there with some gasoline in their back pocket.
2-2 to Wright. And he pokes one toward the middle. Rollins runs it down and gets it on target to retire right and end the inning. But the Mets grab the lead. Matt Dendecker's double tied it, and Anthony Recker tees off for a 3-run homer to give the Mets the lead. 5-2 New York at the 7th inning stretch. Expecting necessarily to be on the mound for the bottom of the 7th, but there he is after the Mets got him the lead in the top of the inning. Andres Blanco leads off for the Phillies. Blanco had the first Philadelphia hit, a double to deep left field in the 2nd. Grounded out in the 4th, 1 for 2. And he takes the cutter inside, 2-0.
Well, John's got to throw a goose egg up here. Come on, if it goes 7, have a nice clean inning. Hand it off to Familia.
About to throw his 100th pitch of the afternoon. And Blanco taking all the way, 2-1. Now, you know, Nice pitched wonderfully early in the season, very consistent, but because he had the shoulder and elbow problems in spring training and later had other shoulder problems, they've kept his pitch count down. He hasn't thrown more than 108 in any game this year. Blanco pops one up into center field, easy for Lagares. 1 out. Well, we've held him out for the late innings today. We don't normally wait this long, but Kevin Burkhardt has been patiently. We see how patient he looks there. No stress, no worry. Bottom of the 7th. Here he is. Hi, Kev.
Well, Gary, I've had about 17 cups of coffee, but I feel I am really ready for this report. It's just been a great day out here, to be honest. Fun watching Nice work today, and the way this game is set up, maybe we see a chance for a save for the Mets. And who will that be? Will it be Henry Mejia, especially after yesterday admitting that he's been bothered by a sports hernia for the last 3 weeks? Of course, the Mets knew this. They've been dealing with it, and apparently Mejia was okay. But Terry Collins had a chat with Mejia today, likely to really gauge how he's doing and if it indeed is affecting his pitching or if it's not. So I decided to get an idea of what it's like to pitch with that. Lagares charging in. He'll make the play. And Ashley's retired, and there's 2 down. Tim Burdack pitched with it the entire 2010 season with Houston. Actually had a pretty good year. He said, you know, it just kind of wears on you as the season goes along. For me, I had a hard time finishing with my fastball to the outside portion of the plate to lefties. It also caused a lot of back pain and hamstring pain. And then I think in the end, it had a hard time for me to find a job. Scott Rice had double sports hernia surgery. He had one and pitched with it for about 2 months, and then it led to another one. He said, for me, the biggest thing was it was hard hard sometimes to get that extra giddy up from your legs. The other thing is, if anybody bunted on me, this one, anything from a bunt, it's ripped, and it's going to go one hop off the wall. Don Brown, who comes in to pinch hit, will have himself a 2-out double. Let me finish the thought. But Rice said, the biggest thing for him was getting that extra push. It kind of felt like a constant tugging. It wasn't like a searing pain, just a big tugging. And if anyone laid down a bunt in front of me, forget it. I had no chance to bend down and make the play. That's how it affected those two guys. R.A. Dickey pitched with it for an entire year and, of course, won the Cy Young. Different guys with different things. We'll see if Mejia can deal and finish out the season. Garrett?
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with Mejia isn't the fact that he has a hernia. It's the fact that he talked about having a hernia right after he had a bad outing.
He's gone through a little bit of a bad stretch, and evidently he's been pitching with it for some time.
And he's had some nagging things. He had the calf that plagued him earlier on the road trip. He had a ball hit off his arm. He had a little back problem earlier this year. So I think that's what he was doing yesterday, was just kind of reciting all the little things that had gone on with him. But you know, there was a time when players didn't talk about those things, at least publicly. You know, the club knows about it, you're dealing with it, you're getting treatment in the trainer's room, but things that maybe you're better off not talking about. Antonio Bastardo up in the Phillies bullpen. Ben Revere hits one up the middle. He's got a base hit. Brown to third. He's going to be waved home. Here comes Lagares' throw to the plate. But tagged by Recker, and he is out. I don't know what Pete McCannon was thinking. Down by 3 runs, challenging Lagares with Dom Brown, who doesn't run particularly well, and he was a dead duck at home plate. Inning over. Well, sometimes you got to learn. Can't challenge that guy.
Another assist.
No chance. After 7, 5-2 New York. Asking me about Juan Lagares because they had heard us rave about him on the air, and they said, do you really think he's that good? Because he had never made a big play against the Phillies before. Well, he just showed them what he can do.
Well, they've got scouts. They know what he can do. Now we're going to freeze it right there. The rule is you send the runner when he's touching the bag at third. Then that's a sign as the player, as the fielder's making the catch. He is a full step and a half the other side. Plus, Lagares, we rave about the arm, but also, which gets lost in the equation, not with us, is how well he charges the ball. Look how close he was to make that throw.
John Buck made the point last year when Lagares came up. He said he'd never seen a center fielder consistently throw the ball from so close as Lagares because of how shallow he plays and the way he charges. Antonio Bastardo will come in to pitch the 8th inning for the Phillies.
Mets roughed him up a bit too.
Bastardo pitched on Saturday night. He got the loss, giving up the run in the 11th inning. Lucas Duda, who drove in that run, leads off for the Mets in the 8th inning today.
And good for Lucas to face the left-hander. Got a big base hit the other night against Bastardo. First pitch fastball, line drive late in that to win the ball game.
It'll be Duda, then Lagares and Dendecker for the Mets, who took the lead with 4 runs in the 7th. Well, I'll tell you what, though. You're down by 3 runs.
Yep.
You get a base hit. You get the tying run to the plate with Rollins if you hold the runner at third.
Rollins and Bird. And Howard.
I mean, that's just. I mean, you hate to bury a third base coach, but that's just a terrible call.
It was a late send, too, by McCannon, and you just. Not a good. Well, hindsight's 20/20, but that's not hindsight. That's you got to play safety first with your big bats coming up,
especially when you know who's playing center field. It's not a secret, exactly.
I mean, that would have been the bullpen. I think Terry would have gone out for taking Neese out of the ball game.
Neese at 106 pitches, more than likely done after 7 now. Got an extra inning out of him after giving him the lead, and so Neese has a chance to snap that 4-start losing streak if the bullpen can hold it. 2-2 to Duda. And he goes down swinging on the slider. Third time that Duda's been struck out today. 1 out of the 8th. Time for a game break. Let's go to the studio. And Joni Schwartz, brought to you by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. Braves won 2 out of 3 in that series, as they always do against the Nats. Atlanta's 22-10 against Washington the last 2 years. Here's Lagares going after the first pitch fastball. Lagares has been hit by a pitch and walked today. It was his walk from David Buchanan that started the whole thing rolling in the Mets' 4-run 7th.
I just realized the Mets are the only game being played right now. Everything's a night game today. It's Monday. Feels like Sunday. Every day game feels like Sunday, doesn't it?
Monday. Can't trust that day.
Stormy Monday.
Blue Monday. I don't like Mondays. We could go on. Garris pops one up. Ruiz for a look. And right at the railing, runs out of room. Just behind the screen.
Just enough to have a second life.
Just on the wrong side for Ruiz. Well, we're going to see Dendecker face a left-hander for the first time since he was called back up. With the way he's been swinging the bat, that'll be interesting to watch. Lagares down on the high fastball, and Bastardo has back-to-back strikeouts to start his stint.
High fastball. Natives are getting restless here.
Got a leather lung right in front of you. So here's Dendecker, who drilled the double to right center that tied up this game in the 7th. 1 for 3 on the day, 3 for 8 in his 2 games since his recall, and now facing a lefty for the first time. The intention is for Dendecker to play, or at least to start, only against right-handers, and have Eric Campbell and Eric Young Jr. get the starts against the lefties, at least for the moment. Goes after the slider and misses 1-2.
Good slider right there from Bastardo. Good location. And there's the splits. What Dendecker hit against lefties. Very respectable 272 over 81 at bats against left-handers.
Well, if he can do that in the major leagues, he'll play every day.
Yes.
But it's all a process. I asked Terry Collins where he envisions Dendecker in the batting order. He said it depends how he performs. He'll hit him 6th, maybe 7th at this point, kind of like he did when d'Arnaud came back.
Right.
And d'Arnaud eventually worked his way up to 5th. Good take by Dendecker in a full count. Of course, you could use Dendecker in a lot of different spots. You could bat him leadoff. You could bat him 9th with a pitcher 8th, much as he did with Eric Young.
That's a possibility right there.
3-2 from Bastardo, and he walked him. Nice at bat for Dendecker against the lefty, and he gets aboard with 2 out.
There he is again. It's late.
So here's Wilmer Flores, is 1 for 3. Flores had a terrific at bat in the 7th inning after Dendecker's double. Took one to the right side, got a base hit out of it to set the stage for Recker's 3-run homer. Flores 4 for 15 in this series. Starting every game at shortstop. Let's go home after the game today. Take on the Nats tomorrow night. If you're just tuning in and wondering about Jacob deGrom, we won't know anything until after the game, so we suggest you stay tuned to WB Mason Postgame Live. Should be finding out about deGrom's status after his MRI today. And what that MRI shows and how long he will be out will determine who will pitch for the Mets tomorrow night in deGrom's spot. If it's only going to be one start, it'll be somebody out of the Mets bullpen, either Torres or Carlisle. If it's going to be longer than that, then it's probably going to be Rafael Montero. I believe the Mets are flying Montero to New York just in case. You're allowed to do that. You can bring in a player for basically a taxi squad for a contingency, not activate him if you don't need to. Montero had been scheduled to pitch for Las Vegas tonight. 1-0 to Flores, and he fouls it away, 1-1. In any event, somebody will take the hill for the Mets tomorrow against the Nats and Doug Fister. The Mets get no breaks against Washington. They get Fister tomorrow night, Jordan Zimmerman Wednesday night, Steven Strasburg Thursday night.
Well, that's why they're one of the top teams. They got a top shelf starting rotation. There's really not much of a break in there.
One game the Mets won in the series in Washington was against Gio Gonzalez, who did not have a good night. Flores hits one in the air to left center. Over comes Ruff to call, and that retires the side. So a scoreless inning for Antonio Bastardo. Mets will go to the bullpen for the bottom of the 8th, up 5-2. On SNY.TV, featuring pitch-by-pitch coverage, player cards, and in-depth stats. Check out SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Driver on the Majors brought to you by Cadillac. Everything else is tonight. Kevin Correa makes his debut for the Dodgers against Julio Teheran and the Braves. That is in Atlanta. The struggling Justin Verlander against Jeff Locke. Two struggling teams right now. Tigers could fall into first place if they lose and the Royals win. Royals will have the hard-throwing Yordano Ventura go up against the A's and Sonny Gray. Ruben Tejada comes in to play shortstop as we go to the bottom of the 8th. He'll bat 9th. And Buddy Carlisle gets the 8th inning today.
Well, the veteran, former Brave, he's done a fantastic job since being called back up. Been up and down. All Terry wants from him, obviously, is a nice, clean 8th inning, and it looks like Mejia is not going to pitch today. It's probably going to be handed off to Familia to close this game.
And Vic Black has worked each of the last 2 days, so he's not available today. So the Mets a little shy in the bullpen. No Mejia, no Black, so Carlisle moves up to the 8th inning. Dana Evelyn will stay busy with Ryan Howard due up 3rd in the inning. And then you got Familia for the 9th. Rollins 0 for 3 today. And he bounces one down to first, and that is a fair ball. Duda makes the play. 1 out. Jerry's Familia talking to Ricky Bonas, the Mets bullpen coach, and he'll start loosening up against the possibility that maybe you bring him in for a 4 or 5 out save if you absolutely have to.
And you notice
not to.
Familia had that sleeve on his right elbow. I had not seen that before, and that is something to keep warmth in there.
I think we've seen that on him a few times,
but not this series. I
just think it hasn't been pink, hasn't stood out quite as much. There you go.
Yeah, one thing about those things, when you wear those rubber sleeves, you just sweat. The sweat will just pour off of you. So I'm not surprised that he took it off.
Marlon Byrd hits one weakly. Murphy makes the play, and Carlisle with 2 quick ground ball outs to start the 8th.
Well done.
Now you might as well leave him in to face Howard with 2 out and nobody on.
Absolutely. Can't hurt you.
If they'd had a couple of men on, they had Evelyn ready for Howard, but now you might as well roll the dice with Carlisle.
Well, it's not even rolling the dice. He can't beat you.
Howard is 0 for 2. He was hit in the shoulder by a pitch. A little scary because it then knocked his helmet off, but his shoulder took the brunt of it and he was just fine. So with Carlisle pitching in relief today, that takes him out of any possibility of starting tomorrow. So now you're down to Torres on the one hand or Montero on the other hand. Tonight, 10:30, Geico Sports Night. Chris Carlin will be in the chair. And he's coming back from Hawaii.
Wow.
Sunglasses, shirtless. Oh, it's a big picture right there. Draw your own conclusions.
Big tan.
That's if they can secure this victory, would have a winning road trip. They lost 2 out of 3 in Washington, won the first 2 here, let one get away yesterday, but now have a chance to win this series. Carlisle comes up and in 2-1. Carlos Ruiz would be next. John Neese went 7, allowed 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. 107 pitches for John. Carlisle using both sides of the plate against Howard.
Carlisle's been around. Remember, he was a part of that Brave bullpen and was used extensively. So he's no stranger to the big leagues.
Well, he's bounced around. He hadn't pitched in the big leagues for a couple of years before the Mets brought him up. And he's done very well. A little bloop into shallow center. Lagares will have to play that on the hop. And Howard has himself a blue pit.
Nothing you can do here. Fastball in, jams him. A little ducky right there.
So the Phillies have their 6th hit. And now Carlos Ruiz is 0 for 2 and a walk. Gary Collins is on his way out to the mound.
Wow.
He might bring in Familia right here, and he's going to. He's going to bring in Familia, presumably for what will be a 4-out save opportunity. I thought he'd give Carlisle one more batter, then bring in Familia for Ruff if he had to, but he's going to pull him right here and give Familia a little breathing room as he comes in with a 3-run lead and 1 runner on. 5-2 Mets in the 8th. We'll be right back to Philly. Here's Familia, who got a save on Saturday night.
He certainly did, and it was his 2nd save of the year, and here he is looking not only for a save, a 4-out save. I guess the thinking behind bringing in Familia, Gare, you mentioned Ruiz 3 for 7 off of Carlisle.
Ruiz bats with Howard at first and 2 out. Chooch is 0 for 2 and a walk today.
I think
and
that
takes a slider for a strike.
Duda should play behind Howard. He's not going to steal a base. Don't know why he's holding him on. Just get behind him and push back and cover some ground.
Two sliders in a row, and just like that, Ruiz in an 0-2 hole.
Well, this young man has come into his own. And such a nice kid. Unassuming young man. He's just a terrific kid.
And he makes quick work of Carlos Ruiz. 3 sliders, and the inning over. So Familia has to get 4 outs. The first one easy. Box score presented by New York 811 and Dig Safely New York. The big blow in this game, a 3-run homer off the bat of Anthony Recker that broke a 2-2 tie in the 7th. That 5-2 lead remains for the Mets as we move to the 9th. As the Mets look to take 3 out of 4 in Philadelphia, Cesar Jimenez will pitch in the 9th inning.
This is Jimenez's second appearance. Excuse me. He came in on the opening night of the series and did the late mop up there.
Recker leads off in the 9th inning. Recker had not had a hit in 29 days.
He was overdue.
And he made up for lost time by crashing a 3-run homer that put the Mets in the lead in the 7th, his 4th home run of the year. Ruben Tejada, who's sitting in the 9th spot in the order, is on deck, and then Curtis Granderson here in the 9th. David Buchanan went 6 innings plus, allowed 3 runs and 4 hits. He's on the hook. Justin DeFreitas allowed the home run to Recker. He was charged with 2 runs and 3 hits in an inning before Bastardo pitched a hitless 8th. Good off-speed pitch by Jimenez, 1-2. Mets 5 runs and 7 hits. The Phillies 2 runs and 6 hits. John Neese is in line for the win today.
Break that 4-game losing streak. Thought he battled today. John didn't really have great command. A lot of pitches were up today. The home run was one of them.
And Recker is out on strikes for the first out of the 9th. Well, John had lost 4 straight starts. The last Met pitcher to lose 4 straight starts was Johan Santana, who lost his last 5 starts for the Mets in 2012 and has not thrown another pitch in the big league since. Here's Tejada, who is now a very much part-time player with the job at shortstop having been handed to Wilmer Flores. Tejada came in on a double switch in the last inning. Tomorrow night the Mets are home to open their series against the Nationals. 6 o'clock the coverage right here on SNY. And Tejada chasing one, 1-2. Flores being elevated to the shortstop job coincided with Tejada hitting a deep slump. There's 9 hits in his last 60 at bats. So it seemed, with the Mets struggling for offense, like the opportune time to make that move, and Wilmer's going to hold down that job for the foreseeable future as the Mets try to evaluate whether he can be a full-time big league shortstop. I think the feeling is at this point they know what they have in Tejada. They have to figure out what they have in Flores.
And what they're 40 after today, 43 more games. And that's a big opportunity for him right there, Mr. Flores.
2-2 to Tejada, and he hits one off the end of the bat foul. I wonder in a future scenario whether it's Flores or somebody else coming in to play shortstop for the Mets, does Tejada profile as a guy you want on your club as a backup infielder if that's his role?
Well, if you got a backup infielder, I always liked having the real ultimate utility guy that can play all 3 infield positions.
Well, we know Tejada can play second. We've seen plenty of that.
So yes, he would be someone if you're going to have a backup guy, he's got to be one of them. You're going to have more than one backup infielder. One of them's got to be a fielder, and the other one's got to be a hitter. Preferably they're both in a perfect world. But
so if you had say a Campbell and a Tejada, I
have no problem with that.
2-2. Foul back.
I still think that with a 25-man roster, I think the 12 pitchers is too much. I think that another man on the bench, a third catcher, where you can have an offensive catcher and a defensive catcher, have a three catcher, so you're not strapping managers with 4 players really.
Well, I don't think you're ever going to go to fewer than 12 pitchers, just the way the game is evolved.
I understand.
think the answer then is to expand the rosters.
Expand at 1. I just think it's you can't use your backup catcher because if your catcher gets hurt. So really you got 4 bench players. Just like having a 5th.
10th pitch of the at bat coming, and Tejada pops one up. Marlon Byrd looking through the sunglasses and makes the grab, 2 out.
Got to cut that guy off downstairs. He's getting a little sloppy with the English language.
Or at least close the microphone in front of him. 2 out and nobody on now. Curtis Granderson. You know how Webby's always threatening to cut your mic?
Yes, I do.
Cut his mic. Granderson's 0 for 4 today after 3 straight 2-hit games to start this series. Jimenez has retired his first 2. The Philly bullpen has been awfully good in this series. DeFreitas had the bobble today, but their bullpen's been better than their starters. Howard handles the grounder. A 1-2-3 inning for Jimenez in the top of the 9th. Now Jerry's Familia will try and close it out for New York. 5-2 Mets as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Familia, who came in to strike out Carlos Ruiz on 3 pitches to end the 8th inning, will stay on for the 9th. Grady Sizemore will bat for Darren Ruff to lead off. Andres Blanco and Cody Ashley to follow. So 3 left-hand hitters for Familia to contend with in the 9th inning. Sizemore started in right field last night, went 0 for 3, and he takes a strike from Familia. This was more 1 for 8 in this series. Blanco on deck.
Andres Blanco.
Remember, the Phillies still have Chase Utley in the dugout. The pitcher's spot is due up 4th in this inning. Familia throwing nothing but strikes ahead on Sizemore 0-2. Familia's first save of the year was a 5-out save. That was against the Pirates back in May. Got his second save of the year on Saturday night in the 11-inning affair. And with Mejia out, being asked to save one again today. What Mejia's status is in the coming days, well, that remains to be determined. Good slider gets Sizemore. 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts for Familia to start his day.
Well, all set up with the fastballs here. Just drops one down. Starts it out of the knees, breaks into the dirt.
So 1 out and nobody on in the 9th.
Familia's got a little bit of that herky jerk too. It makes him tough to pick up. Got such a powerful arm.
Here's Andres Blanco, 1 for 3, doubled back in the 2nd inning. It's the first one he's thrown out of the strike zone. John Neese went 7, allowed 2 runs and 5 hits. He's in line for the win, his 6th of the year. Buddy Carlisle got 2 outs in the 8th, and Familia trying to do the rest. Two 0 to Blanco, getting the start at second base. First time he started at second base for the Phillies. 5th game he started this year. Blanco batting left-handed for the first time today. It is double as a right-hand batter back in the 2nd. And now Familia gets a strike, even though Recker mishandled it.
He just missed it.
And all you can do is shake your head.
Oops. Oop. Supposed to catch that.
That's why they call him a catcher. 2-1 to Blanco. And grounded down to Duda. He'll make the play himself. 2 out. And so the Phillies are down to their final out of the afternoon. And Cody Ashe will be the batter. Ashe's 0 for 3 today, 1 for 14 in the series. So Familia asked to get 4 outs. He's gotten 3 of them with ease, and 1 more to obtain. Ball 1 to Ashe. Chase Utley has come out on deck to pinch hit, so Utley will come up if Ashe can keep the game going. Mets 5 runs and 7 hits. The Phillies 2 runs and 6 hits. And for the 2nd straight hitter, Familia falls behind 2-0. Must be the baseball's fault.
Does not like it.
Mets trying to make it 8 wins in 10 games at Citizens Bank Park this season. And 21 out of 28 the last 3 years. Well, you know he's going to be taking at least 1 pitch here. And it's a strike, 3-1.
Maybe 2. I know the players out there in the field that have been playing all these 9 innings want to get in the clubhouse with 3 out of 4.
Get on the bus. 3-1. And he walked him. So the Phillies have life in the 9th. And Utley will come up to pinch hit. When Familia got the save in the 11th inning on Saturday, he retired the first 2 hitters. Gave him a hit to Howard, a walk to Bird before he got through it. Trying to make it a little bit easier on himself here with a 3-run lead. Utley had a huge day yesterday. with a single, a triple, and a home run, 3 RBIs, and then that unusual 3-2 intentional walk in the 9th inning before Ryan Howard's game-winning hit. Utley was getting the day off today, but called upon to pinch hit here in the 9th. Chase is 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter this year. Ashe takes off, and he'll take second on defensive indifference as Utley takes a strike. Ben Revere would be next. Utley is 0 for 3 in his career against Familia. Close pitch. Called a ball, 1-1. Utley is 6 for 12 in this series with 3 extra base hits. It's been a tough problem for the Mets to solve for many years. Fouled away, and now the Phillies are down to their final strike. Two to Chase Utley. Hit in the air to right. Granderson back. Onto the track. Watches it go. Out of here. A 2-run pinch hit home run for Chase Utley to get the Phillies within a run. Second home run of the series. 12th of the year for Utley. It's now a 5-4 Met lead. Terry Collins is out. I think he wants the umpires to see whether there was fan interference. And the umpires are going to go to the replay to check it out. Let's look.
Hanging breaking ball right down the pipe.
Oh, that might be.
Yes, sir.
It looked like he got his cap in front of the railing to deflect it up into the stands. And if that's what the umpires ruled, it will not be a home run. The fan put his cap in front of the railing. Has got to go over that railing to be a home run. And we'll see whether they have convincing enough evidence on replay to overturn it and take away the home run and make it a double.
And possibly take away the run, period. Both runs. Second and third.
This is an umpire's review. It's not a challenge on a boundary call. See the red cap in front of the railing. Would the ball have gone over without assistance? No way.
No way.
That's going to be overturned. The fan caught the ball in his cap in front of the railing and then flipped it over the fence. And that absolutely is not a home run. It's got to go fully over that railing, which it did not. Nice job, young man.
And unintentional flipping either.
No, he was just trying to catch the home run, and you can understand that. He was trying to get a souvenir. I mean, that's pretty good work, catching a ball in your cap like that.
What was that playoff with Baltimore and the Yankees?
Oh, that was before there was replay. That was the Jeffrey Mayer.
Yes. What year was that?
Interference. 97.
Had a major impact in that ball.
Remember, Tony Tarasco was right under the ball, and I think Richie Garcia was the umpire in the right field corner who ruled it a home run. And it was, I mean, that was the quintessential play that led to the initial institution of replay for boundary calls. And let's see, they're going to say no home run, so they take the home run away. They're going to allow the run to score, and they're going to put Utley at second base. So they're going to say Ashe would have scored from second, and that's rightly so.
And I agree.
So it's a double for Utley. He gets an RBI. It's now a 5-3 game.
One more time. It's apparent And I like the call. It's off the wall. Runner would have scored. 2 outs. He's running. Scores easily.
So, in either event, the tying run comes to bat. And most importantly for the Phillies, they have life. 5-3 with a run home in the bottom of the 9th. An RBI double as a pinch hitter for Utley. And now Ben Revere is 2 for 4 on the day. Tying run at the plate. And he takes a strike from Familia. Of course, Revere very famously hit his first major league home run this season after over 1,400 at bats without one. Jimmy Rollins would be next. Each team now with 7 hits. Familia got the final out in the 8th. 2 quick outs here in the 9th. But a walk and Utley's double have produced a run. And Revere slaps one foul, and again the Phillies are down to their last strike. Oh, 2 to Revere. Popped up. Lagares is there waiting for it. And the ball game is over. Jeurys Familia gets the 4-out save. John Nee snaps his 4-game losing streak. Anthony Recker with the big 3-run homer. And the Mets take 3 out of 4 in Philly and finish off a winning road trip as they win today 5-3.
Well, a game where the Mets were behind 2-1. Recker, the big 4-run 7th inning, and that man right there, these two men, Dendecker got a big double in the gap that started the inning. Lagares walked. The double scores Lagares. Another base hit by Flores, who got a nice situational hitting on a base hit to right field. And then, of course, Recker with a hanging slider. And that was Recker's 4th home run, broke his 0-for streak, and that was the difference in the ball game. And also Familia coming in and getting his 3rd save of the year.
Game summary brought to you by New York 811 and Dig Safely New York. John Neese gets his 6th win of the year after losing 4 straight starts. Familia with the 4-out save. Recker, who snapped an 0 for 19 stretch with the big 3-run homer to put the Mets in front to stay. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $25